Hello, my name is Jonathan and welcome to For What It's Worth. This is my channel that we're going to be discussing all areas of life, from good to bad to questionable. My first topic that I'm going to be covering in this video is a series of 3 things that are near and dear to my heart. It's going to be anxiety. The next video will probably be depression, and then the last video will be suicide. 3 topics that are kind of hush-hush. People really don't talk about a whole lot, but I'm going to share my experiences and some experiences of people that I've spoke to, and kind of push it all together. And hopefully, if anything that I say or do helps anyone, then this channel has been a success. Tell you a little bit about me. My name is Jonathan. I suffer from anxiety. I've had bouts with depression and suicidal thoughts. Now the latter 2 I will definitely cover in a later video or videos, but this one's really going to be about the anxiety side of things. I do want to preface this: I am not a medical professional. I'm very open with my issues that I do have. I've shared it with people at my job, my career, and people in my life. I have helped people, at least suggesting that they speak to someone else, or at least a medical professional. If anything does arise that you feel like you need to speak to someone on, please do so. And the reason I say that is I'm not a medical professional. I care, and I can listen, but I can't do anything for you as far as putting you in the right direction to get some help for yourself. Does everyone need help? No, not at all. Do more people out there that suffer from anxiety probably need help? They could probably use someone to speak to. This is my first video. I've done this video multiple times. Haven't liked any of them. I put everything together. The video ran almost 30 minutes. I feel like your time is more important than that, and so that's one reason I am breaking these items up. You'll notice me kind of reaching over in this general area, moving my mouse. I'm using my monitor as the light, the side light. That way it's not quite so dark in here. You'll notice this is my house. I've got heat press behind me, magic cards over here. I'm into a lot of different things. You may hear some sounds coming from the outside my door. This is my house. I have a life outside this door, and hopefully maybe I can share it with you along the ways. I do have some notes written down on my computer monitor to kind of give me a cheat sheet to stay on task. But let's go ahead and get started on that. Anxiety. What is it? Being the nervousness that you feel near a crowd. Is it all of the above? The definition of anxiety, and I'm going to cheat and look at it here, a feeling of worry, nervousness, or unease, typically about an imminent event or something with an uncertain outcome. Yeah. In black and white, that seems on point. But in real life, it just seems like it's so much more. Anxiety is, I'll give you one example of anxiety that I was discussing with a coworker. And I want to say I've discussed this with a coworker before. A different one, of course. possibly the same one, who knows? Have you ever heard of butt first disease? It's not a real disease, but it's something that I heard when I was younger, and it stuck with me. I need to go to the store and buy some more sodas. But first, I need to check the bank account. But first, I need to turn the computer on. Oh wow, but first I really need to dust that computer. But first I really needed to do some laundry, that way I can have some cloths to dust the computer. And it snowballs from there. And granted, it may have been a bad example, but I have a soda sitting here, and that was the first thing that came to my brain. It can be worrying about the band concert that you have in a couple of days, maybe tomorrow. It's the test, the exam that you have. It's the paper that you're writing. It's the thesis. It's the essay, and you're worried about it. That's a version of anxiety. I have a friend that has anxiety so bad that he or she doesn't want to leave the house on some days. That I believe that's called agoraphobia, that they don't want to participate in society. They don't want the social interaction. One of my anxiety issues is the society thing. Crowds. I could know them, or they could be complete strangers. It didn't matter. If it was crowds in a smaller place, it would cause, and not necessarily even in a smaller place, but it would get progressively worse as it kept happening. If I couldn't remove myself from that problem, that issue, the catalyst, if you will, that was causing my anxiety. Fears and phobias can cause anxieties or panic attacks, and so there's different things that you can do to help reduce and or remove that from your life. Is medication the number one answer? No, of course not. You can meditate. You can self-hypnotize, which is a form of meditation. You can do medication. You can do breathing exercises. You can learn to take your mind off of what is bothering you. There's many different ways to do that. Mine is a redirection, is kind of what I do, paired with medication. I'm not saying I'm medication free by any means. I am on medication for my anxiety and for my depression. But I want you to realize that there is medication just for anxiety, just for depression. There are many different combos that you can take. I don't know if I can legally say what I can, or what I take or what I've taken. Being that I don't take it anymore, I feel a little bit better saying that, hey, I did take this. It worked for me. The first time I spoke to a doctor about my anxiety or what have you was I was driving home from work, from the place I still work. years ago, 10, 12, between 10 and 12 years ago, a guy flew around me, and this wasn't an unusual occurrence. I was driving a less than stellar car, and people could pass me fairly easy, but this guy passed me on the shoulder, and I guess the best word I can use in today's time is it triggered me to a point where, I hauled butt as much as I could, pulled up beside him, just started screaming at him. That's not something that I do. And I felt like I needed to talk to someone about it. And I did. I talked to my general practitioner, my general physician, and he actually prescribed me some Klonopin. It is a controlled substance. I didn't realize that at first. I took it for a couple of years. It worked fantastic. I took it as needed. I didn't take it every day. There were some days I took it several times a day. On the flip side of that, several years down the road, my general practitioner retired, and I was transferred over to his other in-office doctor, and he took me off of the Klonopin and put me on a pill called Buspar, I believe. It's a non-controlled substance, so in the event that I was driving a vehicle and maybe was in an accident, the Klonopin would cause me to flag as a DUI, which is, driving under the influence, whether it be drugs or alcohol. I may have taken Buspar for about 4 weeks. I'm telling you, I felt like I had a balloon. My head was a balloon on a stick or string detached from my body. I was carrying it around. I felt like, I'm going to date myself here, but if you've ever seen that Adam Sandler movie Click, where he's just going through the motions and he's fast forwarding, I'm that person. I'm there, I'm existing, but as far as hearing people talk to me or interacting with anyone or anything, it just wasn't working for me. I took myself off of the Buspar and just researched breathing techniques. I Googled how to I don't know the word I'm looking for, so my apologies. Self-help for anxiety attacks, panic attacks. And it came down to the point where I found breathing exercises and just some mind tricks that I can do to help reduce, remove, and even redirect some of the energy into energy that helps me function throughout the day. But I can say the medication that I'm on for the anxiety, depression, bouts with depression has been helping. I'm very happy with the medication and the dosage, and hopefully that's something that we can discuss. Can't talk tonight. At a later date, at a later video. I wanted to keep this brief-ish. I could talk more about one object, one item, and maybe elaborate a little bit more, which I feel like I've done. If you have any comments, any questions, please feel free to message me. I've seen this on my son's videos. Make sure you like and subscribe. You can if you want to. If you don't, I completely understand. I'm not asking or demanding you to in any way, shape, fashion, or form. My main goal is just to get this information out to someone and help them. But other than that, if you need any help whatsoever, feel free to leave a comment below, as well as my email address will be in the prescription. If you need anything or anything like that, or if you need anything or anything along that, my email address will be in the description below. Other than that, guys, you have a great night, and I hope to talk to you again. Bye.